Digital Technologies in Focus, Supporting Implementation of Digital Technologies and the ICT Capability webinar, Part 2. Hello, my name is Beth Clayton and I am a Curriculum Officer for ACARA's Digital Technologies in Focus project, funded by the Australian Government National Innovation and Science Agenda. Today's webinar is an introduction to one of the general capabilities in the Australian curriculum, the ICT capability. The webinar aims to support your school's implementation of the Digital Technologies curriculum and the related information and communication technology capability. ACARA's Digital Technologies in Focus project supports the implementation of the Digital Technologies curriculum and is funded through the Australian Government's National Innovation and Science Agenda. It is a 3-year project and comprises 160 schools across Australia. These schools are supported by DTIF curriculum officers. This is part 2 of a 3-part webinar in which we look at the ICT capability learning continuum and what opportunities teachers are expected to provide for students. There are a number of links throughout the presentation. Please feel free to pause the video to further explore resources and ideas. Let's now take some time to unpack the ICT capability learning continuum and consider what it is we expect to provide for students. This information can be found on the Australian Curriculum website. The final slides in this presentation give more detail. The key ideas for ICT capability are organised into 5 interrelated elements in the learning continuum. You'll see these elements in more detail in the following slides. The continuum is banded or levelled so that students can typically demonstrate their understanding by the end of 1 year, in the case of foundation, and then at 2-year junctures through to year 10. The first of the 5 elements is applying social and ethical protocols and practices when using ICT. The first of its 4 sub-elements is recognise intellectual property. Here students apply appropriate practices to recognise intellectual property for digital information of themselves and others. This photo comes from a website called Photos for Class. The site allows users to search for Creative Commons copyrighted images and to download them for use with a legal and accurate attribution attached. The next sub-element is applying digital information security practices. Here, students use appropriate practices for the physical and logical storage of security of digital information and apply appropriate protocols when using ICT to safely create, communicate, or share information. The next sub-element is applying personal security protocols. Here, students gain an understanding of the benefits and consequences of the use of ICT by individuals, groups, and communities. The final sub-element, identify the impacts of ICT in society, asks students to understand the impact of the use of ICT on the fabric of society. Students from Redcliffe High School in Queensland investigate future careers using the My Future website. Many of these careers depend on the use of ICT in various ways. The second element on the continuum is investigating with ICT. Its first sub-element is define and plan information searches. This involves students investigating questions, topics, or problems using ICT. The next sub-element is locate, generate, and access data and information. Here students use ICT to define and plan information searches of a range of primary and secondary sources. In this secondary classroom, students are using a search engine to locate information online. In the final sub-element, select and evaluate data and information, students locate, access, generate, organise and/or analyse data and information and apply criteria to verify the integrity and value of digital data, information and sources using ICT. The third element in the continuum is creating with ICT. Within this, students generate ideas, plans and processes. This element involves students using ICT to realise creative intentions and create solutions to challenges and tasks. In this image, primary school students use ICT to generate ideas and plan solutions in a STEM lesson. The second element is generate solutions to challenges and learning area tasks. Here, students use ICT to generate ideas, plans and processes that clarify a task or steps, and generate and manage digital solutions to challenges arising from learning activities or responding to a need or creative intention. Communicating with ICT is the fourth element of the continuum. The first of two sub-elements is collaborate, share and exchange. This element involves students understanding and using appropriate ICT to communicate with others. Students use ICT to share ideas and information to collaboratively construct knowledge and digital solutions. In this example, primary school students collaborate and share information to construct knowledge. The second sub-element is understand computer-mediated communications. Here, students develop an understanding of the context when communicating using ICT, including a sense of the audience, the form of communication, the techniques used, and the characteristics of the users and the technologies. The fifth and final element in the continuum is managing and operating ICT. The first sub-element is select and use hardware and software. Students manage and operate ICT to investigate, create and communicate. They apply technical knowledge and skills to select, use and troubleshoot appropriate digital technologies. Here, primary school students have selected and are using appropriate software or apps to design a solution with hardware available at their school. The second sub-element, understand ICT systems, asks students to develop an understanding of hardware and software components and operations of appropriate ICT systems, including their functions, processes, procedures and devices. And the final sub-element, manage digital data, allows students the opportunity to apply technical knowledge and skills to efficiently and securely manage and maintain digital data. You can find the PDF document of this learning continuum on the Australian Curriculum website. Detailed information on each of the general capabilities is located on the Australian Curriculum website. On this page, you will find information on the ICT capability in both digital and printable formats. At the bottom of the page, you can access the necessary PDF document outlining the Information and Communication Technology Capability Learning Continuum. That brings us to the end of Part 2 of this webinar. We encourage you to next listen to Part 3. We hope that you've enhanced your understanding of the ICT capability and can see how it is more explicit and foregrounded in the Australian Curriculum digital technologies.